I love Ben Richards.
Well, we continue to live in a world of remakes, don't we? Seems like every week a new one comes out. Now, this past weekend gave us the remake of The Running Man. The original Running Man is a 1987 film based off of the Stephen King novel of the same name. Now, for those of you who haven't seen the 87 version, it stars Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it is as 80s as it comes. It's cheesy, it's gaudy, it's over the top. But you know what? It's considered a cult classic. The thing about it is, however, that the 87 version doesn't really stick close to the book. Now, when they announced that they were going to remake it, we were told that we were going to get a true adaptation of the Stephen King novel. But look, it's still a remake, so the question always needs to be asked. Did we actually need this remake? Does it add anything to the story? Is it worth our time? And more importantly, our money? Well, before we answer that, let's talk a little bit about the plot for the film The Running Man.
Please, let's talk.
America is controlled by corporations, and the divide between the rich and the poor is vast. The world is torn apart by violence. In this world, we find Ben Richards. He's played by Glenn Powell, a working class man desperate to afford medication for his sick daughter. Unable to find work after being blacklisted for whistleblowing on unsafe practices, he turns to the top-rated reality TV show, The Running Man. This version of America is obsessed with game shows, and the more violent the better. The Running Man is the most violent show on television. This show is run by a powerful and sinister network corporation and hosted by the ruthless producer Dan Killian, played by Josh Brolin. Premise is simple. It offers a $1 billion cash prize to any contestant or runner who can survive 30 days while being hunted by professional assassins, also known as hunters, and the public. They're incentivized to report the movements for cash prizes as well. Every day that Richard survives, his family receives a cash payout, making it his only viable option. Now Richards is in a race against time as the hunters and everyone he meets are looking to cash in on him, and he desperately attempts to live to raise money for his family. So what works in this film? Let's start with Glenn Powell. I love Glenn Powell. He has the charm and charisma and acting chops that could really propel him to an A-lister. In fact, I think he's on his way to becoming one now. He's really good as Richards. Richards is a complex man. He is prone to violence. He has a short temper, but he has a profound love for his wife and child. And as the film progresses, he goes from someone just looking to help his child to an inspirational hero for the masses. Reluctantly, but he does a great job portraying all the emotions that a complex man like Richards would have. And the rest of our cast puts in tremendous performances as well, especially Josh Brolin, who plays Killian. But, you know, it's Josh Brolin. He's always great. Also, kudos to Coleman Domingo, who plays Bobby T, the host of The Running Man. Domingo is very charismatic and over the top. We saw that with his character in Fear the Walking Dead, and he really turns it up to 11 here. Some of your violent action set pieces are excellent, using a nice blend of practical effects and CGI.
That's cool.
What doesn't work, however, is, and I feel like I say this all the time, I don't get why these movies are so damn long when they don't have to be. The original Running Man was about an hour and 40 minutes. This one is about 30-40 minutes longer, and man, do you really feel it at times. The pacing is pretty brutal. We go from some great action scenes to a lot of unnecessary exposition, lots of sitting around explaining things that we A, don't need to know, or B, already know. The ending gets really messy. I'm not going to spoil it, but if you were looking for a 100% true adaptation of the book with the ending, you're not going to find it here. The film kind of has 3 different endings that happen over the last 10 minutes. And honestly, for a movie this long, the overall ending, it generally feels a bit rushed. And let's talk about the Hunters. Now, in the original movie, the Hunters are awesome. They're a rogues gallery of over-the-top personalities, each with their own methods and their own madness. Here they're just generic soldiers, almost replaceable NPCs. And even the one that we get to know, Macomb, the leader of the Hunters, with whom there is a big reveal at the end, he has little to no personality. I get that's how they were in the book, but this might have been, this might have been a place where you might have kind of stolen from the 87 movie and used what they did there. I think it would have worked much better.
That could have been better.
And now we go back to the question that was initially asked. Was this movie necessary? Was it worth your time? Did we need this remake? Well, you know what? Probably not. The first one is a cult classic, and nobody was really clamoring for a faithful adaptation to the 1982 book. And also, if you're a big fan of the original, you may not like this one because while the basic premise is the same, the film is just so different. But you know what? I do think it was kind of worth your time. It's a flawed movie, no doubt, but there's enough here with Powell's performance, the performance of the rest of the cast, and the really quality action scenes that will keep you entertained for the most part. You may not have to run to the theaters to see it, but it would definitely be a very solid streamer.
Netflix and chill scenario?
Well, that's all I have for you this week. Tune in next week where I give you my thoughts and feelings on whatever I've seen. In the meantime, click that like button, subscribe, leave a comment or a question, share this video with friends and enemies alike, and as always, thank you for giving me your valuable time, and I'll see you next week. Take care.